to engage. So welcome to this 20-minute video. We've been doing several 20-minute videos, and we're going to keep doing a lot of these 20-minute videos. They seem to be helpful for people, the content itself, but the consumption chunk, not super long. And if you're just watching the replay here, let me know, engage, chat wherever you're watching this, and you can just type in replay so that I know. And still ask questions or make your comments. We'd love to know what's really landing for you or any other questions that you have to extend whatever it is that the conversation is about. And this video is on winning the inner game of coaching, part 2. I went on a little rant on part 1. You can see that on the playlist. We have playlists for these videos, both on YouTube and Facebook, facebook.com/Coach Sean Smith. That's a business page. And you can go to the videos and look at the playlist, and it says 20-minute training videos, I believe. And same thing on YouTube. You can find the playlist there. So the first time we talked about doubt and pain and just dealing with some of the quote unquote negative head talk. And I put that in quotes because I think it's really important that we start to shift our understanding of what our inner head talk is actually doing. We don't have inner head talk that's negative. In other words, we don't have a piece of us that doesn't want us to win. So one of my suggestions for you is to not language negative head talk as that. Don't put the word negative on it. Don't think of it as negative head talk. Think of it and language it as protective head talk. So every time that you have a voice inside that sounds like doubt or sounds like fear, it's protective head talk. It's not negative head talk. And then the question becomes, what is it protecting you from? That's the only way that you'll actually get to the real answer that can uproot the real problems. If you think that it's negative head talk and all you have to do is change it to positive, just like you're changing a channel on a TV, you won't actually get to the real problem. The real problem is that you've got a piece of you that's afraid of something happening, that's afraid of some kind of experience, and your head talk is just simply trying to get you to avoid that negative experience. It's protecting you from something that you're uncomfortable with, right? And that's really critical to understand, because then we can explore that. I'm going to try to not say it, where I'm so used to saying it because we language it all the time. Then you can explore the protective head talk and basically ask yourself, what is it that you're protecting me from? And what'll usually happen is you'll notice that the head talk is trying to protect you from some form of visibility, actually, some form of success. And that's really critical, because most people are focused on pain and fear and doubts. And if you don't realize that those things are trying to protect you from something, then all you're going to try to do is get rid of the doubts or get rid of the fear. And even if you were to get rid of the fear and you think that you've gotten over this problem, usually people try to do that with perfectionism. If you get over this problem that you think is the actual problem, you'll realize it's not the problem. And so you'll get over the doubts and you'll get over the fears, and you'll put yourself in a state of mind that ends up actually being a false positive. And then the deeper sabotage will actually come up. So I say this because even though this is not what most people are searching for, it's not what most people think is happening, it's certainly not what most people want to be happening, but it's reality. And I say this because I've been in this industry for 18 years, been in personal development, my own journey, and doing this work for a long, long time. And the real issue are the seeds that are underneath the soil. The fake issues are the weeds that are above the ground. And if you keep solving the fake issues, which are not the problem, then you'll never actually get to a solution. So if you get really good at hitting the not target, if you get really good at solving the not problem, then it's going to be even more frustrating. And if this is landing with you, if this is something you've experienced where you figured that you got over something, you found a way to get motivated, you found a way to find the right strategy or whatever, and then you still found yourself sabotaging, this is why. It's because you didn't actually solve the problem. You just gave yourself a fake, illusionary solution to something that actually isn't what's stopping you. So for most people, especially if you're introverted, if you're sensitive, if you really care about doing really good work out there, the more you care, the more you're going to doubt. So when you doubt whether you can actually do this or whether you are a really good coach, and these philosophies, I'm just putting it in a coaching context, but they apply to really everything in life. But if you doubt, that just means you care enough that you want to be good. And I don't want you to get rid of the care. I don't want you to get rid of the give a damn. I want you to, and you can't get rid of the doubt. So if you don't want to get rid of the care of doing good work and you can't get rid of the doubt, well, then the question is, how do you move with it? How do you actually get fueled by it? How do you understand what it's trying to protect you from and then keep going anyway? If you're willing to play that game, you have to source your motivation from somewhere else than what almost everybody is sourcing their motivation from. Most people are sourcing their motivation from something external. If I do this thing, if I take this action, if I put in this effort, then I will get this outcome. So if I pitch my coaching package, then I'm going to get a paying client. If I put a video out there, then I'm going to get 1,000 views on it. If I do something, then I'll get something. That's extrinsic motivation. We're being motivated by these external factors, and the factors generally appeal to a part of us that we don't actually really care about. So this idea of sourcing our motivation from external perspectives is really, really dangerous because most of us are having all of the challenges internally. So we need to source our motivation from inside the room where the problem is. You know, if there's a fire on the 3rd floor of the building, don't send the fire department to floor 7 because they won't put the fire out. Go wherever the fire is. And if the challenge is internal, then the motivation needs to be sourced from that same room, from that internal place, because it's the only thing that has the power to outweigh the internal challenge. You're not going to find external motivation and outweigh internal problems. At least most of you won't. Any of you that watch anything that we put out, you're not going to do that because you care too much and you doubt yourself and you have more insecurity than a lot of people do, or a lot of people think that you're supposed to have. And that insecurity is actually really good. I want you to be an insecure influencer. I want you to use your insecurity to become a better coach. And in my experience, insecure people actually become better coaches because your insecurity will lead you to explore your own internal challenges, and then it'll allow you to help other people that relate to those same insecurities. And most people relate to being insecure more than being fearless. And yet, if you look at virtually everything that the whole personal development world talks about, it's about being fearless and don't care about what other people think. That's ridiculous. Number one, it's not possible for the human brain to do it. Number two, if it is possible, it means you've become a sociopath where you actually don't care about people. So I don't want you to get to the point where you don't care, but I want you to dive in and find the thing that will keep you going. And what that is intrinsic motivation. You've got to find something that you will do for the sake of doing it, not for the sake of getting something after you do it, but for the sake of doing it. So what that could look like is you make a commitment that you're going to create a YouTube channel, and you don't wait until you know exactly what to do, and you don't wait until you have all the videos that you know are going to algorithmically succeed. You know they're going to go viral. You don't wait until your lighting's perfect. You don't wait until you have the right audio equipment. You do the YouTube channel because you said you were going to do it. So here's a great check-in. How many things have you said you're going to do and you haven't done? And I'm putting my hand up. I've said I'm going to do a bunch of things that I haven't done. But the things that I have done are generally accomplished because I said I'm going to do them. Not because I need to make sure they're going to work before I do them. And that's what extrinsic motivation does for us. It puts us in a situation where we're only going to take action if we know it's going to work. And that is conditional commitment. Conditional commitment. You're committed to do something on the condition that it works, or on the condition that other people like it, some kind of external condition. The problem is you can't ever control those external conditions. So we're in an emotional conundrum where we want to succeed, but we want to be guaranteed of the success before we take action. And we have to remove all of that conditional motivation and make the condition internal. Do it because you said you're going to do it. So if you said you're going to create a YouTube channel, create the channel today. Create it by the end of this week if you need a little bit more time, but do it because you said you're going to do it. And here's why. If you don't do the things that you say you're going to do, I'm going to take this one slowly because this is huge, and it's going to disrupt some of you. If you don't do the things that you said you're going to do, you will or have already stopped trusting your own declarations. So if you have this internal challenge and you try to overcome it by making some declaration, I will do this thing, and then you don't do the thing, the internal entity that is already trying to be protected against something, which is usually visibility and success, here's the declaration, but this time is different. This year is different. This month is different. This day is different. I'm going to do it this time because I got the right affirmations, or I got the right goalpost, or I read the right book, or I went to the right thing. I'm going to do it this time, and then you don't do it. So that entity inside of you that's actually paying attention to what you're saying stops believing yourself. And when you stop believing yourself and you have an internal conflict and you're trying to overpower it with extrinsic motivation, there is no chance. And if you are a creator, which you have to be in today's world, if you want to be in the personal development world, you have to create videos, you have to create community, you have to create download PDFs, you have to create conversations, you have to create energy, you have to create relationships. You are a creator. Whether you see yourself as a dancer or a musician or a singer or a poet, it's not that kind of creativity. I mean, if you do that, that's great, but you are a creator of business. You are creating something that didn't first exist. That means you are a creator. In the creating world, you must be fueled by intrinsic motivation because that's how creativity works. And creativity needs to know. I want you to think of creativity as this little toddler inside of you. That toddler needs to know that it can get up and try to walk without you punishing it, them, him, her, without you punishing that toddler if it falls. Because if the rules of the game are, hey, little toddler that doesn't know how to walk, you go ahead and stand up and try to walk. But if you don't, you're going to get punished. I'm going to scream at you. I'm going to yell at you. I'm going to hit you. None of us would walk. None of us would be walking because it's too dangerous and we can't do this yet. So you have to give yourself permission to follow through on the things that you say you're going to do and the things that you want to do without the repercussions of internal judgment if it doesn't go well. Because I promise you it won't go well. Anything that you embark on, any journey that you embark on that is going to be eventually something sacred and magical and powerful for you will not go well in the beginning. And if it does almost accidentally succeed, it'll be the worst you ever do because you're going to constantly get better. I hope you constantly get better. But the only way for you to constantly get better is to give yourself permission to be your worst for now. So create the YouTube channel now. It's going to suck as soon as you create it. It's going to be the worst it ever is. But then do what you have to do to make it better a week from now. And then do what you have to do to make it better a month from now. So create your website if you said you're going to do that. Get on social media if you said you're going to do that. Do the things that you said you're going to do. Give yourself the permission to be your worst at them when you start, but then make the commitment to get better. If you don't have that internal drive, you guys, in today's world of oversaturated, hyper overwhelming marketing assault that we're all going through, if you don't give yourself that internal motivation, this is not possible that I've ever seen. And everybody I've ever talked to that has created something big and something worth creating, in the beginning, it was bad, but they had some reason to move through it. Another reason that you can lean into for this intrinsic motivation is to see what you're made of. See what you're made of. Please don't go to your grave without ever being introduced to yourself. Please don't go to your grave without ever actually witnessing your own greatness, without witnessing what you can become. See what you're made of. The only way to do that is to jump, is to take action. Act when you don't believe you're ready. That is one of the, I hate using the word secret because that's such a marketing bastardized word, but it's one of the things that most people don't realize is the required ingredient. You have to take action when your intellect believes you're not ready. So if your intellect believes you're not ready and you're driven by external motivation that says, well, this has to work, you'll never take action. But when your intellect says we're not ready, but you're driven by internal motivation that says that's okay because I'm here to see what I'm made of, because I want to explore who I actually am, because I want to be amazed by what I can create or have revealed what I need to work on. That intrinsic motivation to get good is so critical. Most people are more committed to looking good than to being good. But if you're committed to being good, then all the things that you want in the future are absolutely possible and they can come from this rooted place. But if you're more committed to looking good, you're more committed to the vanity metrics, to the people watching the videos, to the algorithms, to making sure that Facebook is going to show your posts all the time to more people. If you're more committed to looking good, there's going to be a shallow experience that you're giving people and a shallow experience that you're giving yourself. You've got to unsubscribe from the shallow experiences of life, from the shallow experiences of marketing, from the shallow experiences of the online world, and resubscribe, or for the first time, subscribe to the deep experiences of yourself, of who you are, of what you can become, of what you can learn how to do. If you are rooted in that kind of connection to who you are and what you can become, and you're intrinsically motivated to get better every day that you possibly can, now you have a chance. If you don't have this internal fuel, I don't want to be like this negative Nelly, but I've never seen it work. So if you don't have this internal drive, especially if you are more connected to your sensitivity and to your emotions, and you're the kind of person that looks inside, you don't have a chance. The fuel needs to come intrinsically and inherently. You need to do the thing for the sake of doing the thing, not for the sake of other people liking the thing that you do. So don't wait to sing your song until you know someone's going to buy the album. Sing your song because you have a song to sing. That's why. And the first time you sing it, it won't be as good as the second time. And the second time won't be as good as the fifth time. And the fifth time won't be as good as the 50th time. My invitation to all of you is to make a commitment to yourself that a year from now, you will have put in 5 years worth of effort compared to what most people put in. This is about time on the clock, not time on the calendar. So make a commitment to yourself that's around effort, and do the things that you say you're going to do so that you can look in the mirror and be proud of keeping your word to yourself. If you don't get this part done, there is no strategy that can make up for it. Everything else, all the sales tactics, all the marketing tactics, all the funnels, all the quick fixes, all that stuff will be sabotaged if we don't have this inner game won. I hope this is landing with you. I'm going to stop here to keep it under 20 minutes. For those of you that know we are doing an ECCP really soon, go to coachshansmith.com/ECCP. We've got some really cool promotions going on right now. It's the lowest price it's going to be. And if you have any questions at all, let us know, make a comment, and we'll see you in the next video.